Rev Brooks. I'm a licensed psychologist, and for many years now I have worked with Alpha Center for Divorce Mediation, working directly with couples or divorcing, separating couples to help them identify what is best in terms of custody with their children. At this point, and for several years, I have also trained and oversee the work of our custody mediators in the process of working with parents. And in addition to working with Alpha, I also do custody evaluations in cases that are litigated. And I really want to positively reinforce your decision to go through a process where you make the decisions regarding your children, rather than getting into conflict over it. The most damaging thing for children, I think, when their parents separate or divorce is when their parents are in conflict over custody. So the choice you're making to come to agreement regarding this so that your children don't have to feel caught in the middle is one that is really going to be to their benefit. And what I'm going to be talking about is ways that you can work to come up with a plan that is really going to be in the best benefit of your children. This is probably one of the very difficult meetings, I think, and thoughts about custody tend to be very emotionally laden and very difficult. So there are steps that we have suggested to help you prepare for this. The meeting is going to be about a 2-hour meeting, and in that meeting the things that we're going to want to go over are trying to help you come up with an agreed upon schedule of custody, meaning where is your child going to be spending their time in terms of physical custody with one parent versus the other. And during this meeting, we want to really be able to cover 24 hours a day for the children so that there's no questions as to where they're spending their time. And some of the things that we suggest you to prepare for this. One, I'd say the mantra of this is what is in the best interest of the child or the children. We're really focused on trying to determine what is going to be best for them. So if you and your partner can give consideration to that rather than all the emotions and feelings that are going into this process, I think that's a good guiding light for it. Alpha does have resources for you that can be helpful. So if you go to the site, they have a video on the child's perspective of custody, articles on what a child needs during divorce, articles on helping guide you to a successful partnership with your post-separation, post-divorce partner. And I think those can all be valuable tools for you. Some of the things that I think are going to be most important to consider too are that in this process, you and your ex-partner may not be agreeing on things. And instead of getting caught up in the areas where you don't agree, try to find out the areas where you do agree. And if you can begin to work from those areas where you agree, that's going to be most helpful. I think things that you need to consider here are distance between your two residences, the age of the children, and different aspects for them in terms of their schooling and that kind of thing. Giving consideration to, for example, shared custody can be a great way to go. Many people want to try to go with that. But what impact is that going to have on your child in terms of having to transport to school? Would a plan be better that gave one parent more weekend time versus another parent the time during the school year? Give consideration to things like your work schedules. When is it going to be feasible for you to most directly be there to provide the care for your child? And also, you have to give consideration to what are your child's activities. What parent is going to be able to engage in those activities to get the child to them. So keep in mind that your focus is how can we best work together to provide these benefits to our child. Some other things that we're going to want to cover too are holidays and vacation times. How do you divide holidays? This can be an extremely difficult thing. Some people will divide holidays so that the child will spend part of Christmas with one parent, part with another. Others will alternate holidays so that they spend one Christmas one year with one parent and the next Christmas with the other parent. Things to consider in that are, how close do you live? Is it feasible to divide a holiday, or are you going to spend most of the holiday traveling back and forth? These are emotional issues, and it's hard to think about not spending a holiday with your child. But think about what's going to be best for them in terms of how they spend their holiday. I also suggest think about how your families celebrate holidays. I know that I've worked with a lot of Italian families where one of the big events on Christmas, for example, is the 7 fishes on Christmas Eve. And so if you can look at it and see that your partner or your ex-partner, their family has a particular way of celebrating that is different than yours. One example I give is I worked with a family one time where the father, his family always had a huge 4th of July reunion. The mother didn't really do much on the 4th of July. So they agreed to give the father 4th of July every year, and the mother took Memorial Day every year. The idea being what is going to work best for you and, most importantly, your child in doing that. With vacations, we take a look at things like how much vacation time is permitted a year. Is there a limit on how many consecutive days of vacation one has in a year? Usually people put in things about travel, that sort of thing. Is the child able to travel with other individuals? Things I think that are important to give consideration to are these aspects of consider your child's age. A child at 13 or 14 years old is probably going to be very associated with their social life. And to have them pick up and go to a completely different town, different community that is a long distance away every weekend from where they're going to school is probably not going to be good for that child. So look at what is particular to your child so that you and their other parent can come up with agreements. Lots of times parents will work together in trying to come up with this plan. Sometimes it works better if they each come up with what they think is best and then begin a process of trying to combine those things. I think most importantly though, keep in mind what is best for your child so that you can effectively work with your partner, your ex-partner, to come up with a plan that's going to work best for them.